I missed the Blood Moon skins in 2024, so let's cover them quickly now. Blood Moon Zed is kind of a tragic skin. On the one hand, this thematic is such an obvious fit for him, right? Blood Moon Zed, well of course there has to be a Blood Moon Zed. Are you kidding me? It's genuinely astonishing that there isn't one already. How was Blood Moon Zed not his launch skin? Blood Moon Zed is such an open and shut, absolute slam dunk of a perfect match between a champion and a skin line that it kind of becomes a problem. The skin itself looks great, the mask is cool, his animation and shadow forms work great with the lore of Blood Moon, and the sleek, edgy lethality of the Blood Moon aesthetic maps really well onto his costuming. My only criticism is that the naked chest is too human, and I would like it if he was more visibly demonic and uncanny, but honestly, that's just a nitpick. No, the problem is that it's Blood Moon Zed. It's so obvious. It's so obvious that it just doesn't feel special. It doesn't feel unique or interesting or even particularly creative. It is the most obvious skin for the most obvious champion. It is a very well-crafted skin, and I just can't help but find it boring. Fiddlesticks could also be said to be kind of an obvious Blood Moon skin, at least insofar as he is a horror-themed demon champion, and Blood Moon is a horror-themed demon skin line. And as a Blood Moon character, he looks genuinely gorgeous, actually. He has beautiful costuming, a vibrant and powerful color scheme, a gorgeous paper lantern dangling from his arm in his idle animation, a beautifully crafted scythe, and his reaping claw hand is rendered here as a sleek and detailed bird-like claw to match his Tengu/Yatakarasu motif. The trouble with all of that well-crafted, gorgeous beauty is that, well, Fiddlesticks is kind of supposed to be a mess. His base form is this shambling, brutish golem of farm equipment and burlap sacks, and he's animated that way too. His animation emphasizes that he's not sleek or smooth or well-crafted. He's a pile of garbage brought to life by a crow demon whose consciousness is little more than an eternal scream of terror. That's why he's scary. And that's Blood Moon Fiddlesticks' problem to me. He looks beautiful, gorgeous, amazingly well-crafted, and just not very scary at all. He looks too pretty, which makes his shambling animation read as comedic clumsiness rather than uncanny horror monster movement. Just a little bit of mess, a little bit of jagged wildness would have done so much for this version of the character. The tragedy of Zyra is that her character design kind of sucks in her base form, but it translates so well into skins that she tends to bat pretty far above average on the rare occasion that she gets. Blood Moon Zyra is a good example because it casts her as this demonic priestess of the Blood Moon who presents a beautiful face up front and hides her true demonic face under the mask on the back of her head, echoing the Futakuchi Onna out of Japanese folklore. Her design's baseline sex appeal thus makes sense for the character that's being portrayed, which is more than can be said for her base form. Her costuming and color scheme is striking, taking full advantage of the Blood Moon Red to create a lot of beautiful contrast work. I love that her thorny lashers are now literally her hair that she controls to attack with, and her thorn spitters look genuinely beautiful and deadly as these lush crimson demon flowers. This is a genuinely fantastic skin, only really held back by the aging model.